This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
And welcome everybody to a special episode of the Animanicast.
My father the tuna won't be seen tonight. We'll be back next week. Now let's watch the following special presentation.
And welcome everybody once again to the Animanicast. This is the only podcast out there that's dedicated to the animated television series Animaniacs. And here we explore the series episode by episode. We talk about all the cultural references and gags that we can find, and of course in the end we give each episode a water tower rating. Usually. But today we have a very special episode. I am Joey, and joining me once again in California is my brother Nathan.
With 3, you get egg roll.
And across the country in Georgia, it's Kelly.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Well, today we have a very special episode. We are going over our top 5 segments from episodes 51 to 99 of Animaniacs. Ooh. We've already gone through episodes 1 through 50 a while ago. Do you guys have any idea how long it was, by the way, when we actually went through episodes 1 through 50 with our favorite segments?
Was it a year ago?
I would think like 2 years ago.
Almost 2. Yeah, it was about a year and a half, right in between you guys, I believe.
We've been doing this for that long.
It's crazy. It was in July, I believe, 2017. And wow. That was celebrating, that was approximately a year, as we were getting about a year anniversary show. So, yeah, that's crazy to me. That we're still doing this gosh darn show. And of course,
you mean people aren't sick of us already?
I know, seriously. Well, some people are, but they're not listening to us right now. So, yeah, exactly. So the people that are still listening are not sick of us yet. Maybe after this episode, we'll see. But anyway, we're always waiting for that one other person to leave. No, but today we've wrapped up all of our original Animaniacs run, including Wacko's Wish. So now we have to kind of reflect upon the whole darn thing, and we're not doing the whole episodes this time. We'll do that in a future episode. And gosh, I guess we'll first do the second half of Animaniacs, and then do we dare even do a top list of the whole series? Is that too insane of a task? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe one of these days we'll actually do that too.
I don't know if I can narrow it down to just like one.
Just one episode. Is
I
all
know
we can do.
that would be pretty hard to do. But I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see. But yeah. So today,
wait, no, I can actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I was thinking in the car on the way over here, and I was like, I think I can too. But we'll have to talk about that in a future episode. Anyway. So today we're talking about the top 5 segments. Before we do, however, I have a pop quiz. Oh, actually, before we do that.
Shoot the hostage.
Shoot the hostage. No. So
good answer.
No, you record. Okay. Well, no, don't shoot the hostage. Don't shoot the hostage. What we have to do.
That was a speed reference.
Speed reference.
Yes. The bus movie.
In case you hadn't realized how stuck in the 90s we were. Yes, there we go.
The bus that couldn't slow down.
Nathan with the Simpsons reference. Very good. Now, before we get into our pop quiz, however, I need to ask you guys a question. If someone were to ask you, okay, tell me about like the second half of Animaniacs in a few words. This is going to be interesting. What would you tell them about the second half? Episodes 50 to 99 in a nutshell. Nathan.
It had high highs and low lows, I think.
And Kelly, what about you?
I would say it was probably less Spielbergian.
Ooh, less Spielbergian. Well, let's go ahead and speak about being less Spielbergian. Here's your pop quiz, hot shot. What do you do? Tell me, what is your least favorite segment in episodes 51 to 99? My least favorite segment, there's a couple that it was either going to be Mermaid Mindy or Amazing Gladiators for me, but I'm going to go with Amazing Gladiators because that one had so many writers on it, and I think it shows that episode, or at least that segment, had a lot of trouble. And it's the hippos, and they're always kind of the not so funny ones for me anyway. I mean, they're decent most of the time, but in this case, they weren't. But Nathan, what do you think? What is your least favorite?
Oh, man. I want to say, just because I said it during the things, but with 3, you get egg roll.
That one's not that great either.
I purposely said it for my catchphrase because I knew it was not going to be anyone's top 5. And yeah, I'll just go with that one. It has a title that I remembered. So, but yeah, the whole babysitting for an egg and yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't enjoy that one. So
and I don't think there was any resolution to the baby egg even at the end, wasn't it? Like,
no,
I don't think the baby ever hatched or anything, too.
All the other eggs hatched, I think, maybe, or maybe I just wanted that to happen. I don't know. They end up with lots of eggs, right? They don't know which egg.
Yeah, it's all mixed together because it's like Katie Kaboom's brother.
Yeah,
is collecting eggs from everywhere.
It just, yeah, not my favorite. So I'll say that one.
All right. And Kelly, what do you think? What's your least favorite of all these? What's the least Spielbergian, I suppose?
I'm tempted to say Katie Kaboom Call Waiting because, kind of still talking about this. We're all still talking about the same episode. But I think I would choose Meet Minerva.
Ah.
Least favorite. Because I just can't stand Minerva, for one thing.
That is on some people's list of their favorite ones, but for all the wrong reasons, I think. Yeah, that one almost got on my list of my my least favorite one. It is a very confusing episode, just because. Yeah, it's like I know they wrote to just things that made them, this is funny, so let's write this, and they didn't really care if there was on a kid's show or not. But that one I watch and I go, you do realize you're making a kid's show, right? But it does have some funny parts. I think Newt has some funny lines in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a smart,
yeah, I really
yes,
like
you are. So.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about Animaniacs, because even our least favorite episodes still have humor to it. I mean, and that's just a credit to the writers and producers and everybody involved. It's just a high quality show across the board. I mean, not every episode is going to resonate with everybody, but it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of getting stuff that's all good, let's go ahead and get to our top 5 segments.
Hello, genius people. Yakko Warner here. The only show we listen to in the water tower is the Animanicast. I bet you can't guess why. Good night, everybody!
It's time for Honorable Mentions. We're going to talk about the ones that could not or did not meet our top 5 list. So who would like to go first? Who wants to give their honorable mention?
I will.
All right, Kelly, hit us up. What do we got?
Okay, I'm going to go with Schnitzelbank.
Oh, yeah.
Partly because I think I knew the song before the episode even aired because I owned the soundtrack. And I got it pretty early on, so I knew several of the songs before the episodes even aired originally, but I just love the song. It's so catchy and it's cute, and it's not it doesn't stand above the ones that I consider like my top 5 favorites, but it's a great episode.
Yeah, I do appreciate that one a lot, and you're right. It was on the soundtrack, and I could sing along to it, and it gets pretty fast, but I was able to sing just as fast along with them when back in my heyday. Nathan, what about you?
Well, I want to say that song's very funny, and I like how he's naked by the end of the song. But
he's no longer dressed.
Very long name.
Yes.
Otto von Steigmeyer.
Yeah, exactly.
I have like 5 honorable mentions, so I'm just going to pick one at random.
Okay, go for it.
If by the end we don't mention some of these other ones, I might save another 1 or 2.
Okay, we might sprinkle honorable mentions throughout your talk.
But at the end of the thing, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah, but I'll start. I'll say The Kid in the Lid as an honorable mention because Dr. Seuss. I love the art style on that one, and it was just really very funny. It was different, It was
the
very
rhyming really well done.
Good rhyming and a good adaptation, and I like the art style on that one too.
And I think that was written by Paul Rugg, so of course he had to put Charlton in there as the goldfish. I always like how Paul Rugg really likes that Charlton woodchuck, even though I don't think anybody else does. But I think that's one of the things I like about that is that he didn't care. He liked him, and so he was going to put him in those episodes. Anyway. Well, my honorable mention is the Please, Please, Please Get a Life Foundation. It's such a classic, and I ended up thinking about that episode quite a bit as editing these episodes. I was like, oh my gosh, I am such a member of this club. But yeah, that it's kind of, it's a classic. I think when people go to Animaniacs in concert, they show that to folks. So you can still see that segment. It speaks to the Animaniacs fan. Big or small, and in some case, very big in size. Like that guy typing with his toes, which I will say they make some really good GIFs from that episode. So that's also a nice thing. Well, let's go ahead and get to our top 5.
Number 5.
All right, Nathan, let's start with you. What is your number 5 segment?
Oh boy. Okay. So this was really hard because there's so many segments, and like you got the, you got the Pinky and the Brains, you got Skippy and Slappy. It's difficult. So this is my number 5. Don't get mad at me. Baloney and Kids. That's it. So
yeah.
It's a classic episode, and I had to put it on my list. Just the way they are beating up Baloney and making fun of Barney, it's very funny.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun, friend, but we've got to get back to planet reality now.
Great idea. Let's play astronauts in outer space. Hello, Mission Control.
Hello, Baloney. Our sensors show that you're out of oxygen.
Goodbye.
You'll be remembered as a hero.
Maybe we should stop pretending.
Could be tough. We have very strong imaginations.
That one almost made, at least I had it as my number 5, and then I put it down to honorable mention, and then it just barely didn't make the honorable mention right there. Because you're right, that one is so funny. I just like how certain aspects of that are just unanswered as well. Like, why are the Warners here? Like, they're pushed on. I can't get over the fact that they've been pushed onto the set to be with Baloney. Like, I guess the executives were like, let's put the Warners on here because this will help the ratings. I don't know exactly what's going on, but yeah, such a good thing. But I think it fell off for me just because Barney is kind of it's not as big as he used to be. But back in the 90s, man, he was so annoying.
I don't know. I think
had
it's
a
even
nephew that liked Barney.
I think it's been funny if you have never seen Barney. It's still funny, I would think. Just this weird character. Yeah, exactly.
I'll put a quick
little catchphrases.
Over at our TeePublic store, which of course is tpublic.animanicast.com, you can actually see a design that one of our listeners actually put up, which is it's Baloney and Friends design, and it looks so awesome. So
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's on
bought
there.
it yet.
Yeah, it's on there. It's like, so if you really are a fan of that episode, everybody, well, now you know where to go. You will have an Animaniacs shirt that no one else has, at least around you.
Except for me.
Yeah, except for Kelly. Yes. All right. Who's going to go next? Kelly, do you want to go next, or should I?
Yeah, I will. I will pick 3 Tenors and You're Out.
Oh, okay.
Primarily because Steven Spielberg's in the beginning of it.
Or the ending, perhaps. Where is he? He's somewhere. That one goes on for a while, so it's kind of hard to tell.
I think it's at the beginning with the ship.
I know he's in the ship, but I don't know exactly where he's in the beginning.
Yeah, I thought the ship was at the end of the episode, or towards the end.
I don't know. I have the image in my mind of Steven Spielberg in the ship.
The episode didn't start for Kelly.
In the episode, but
until
that was the episode.
That's when she started paying attention, and the episode began when Spielberg showed up.
Yeah, I mean that's my life.
It's the beginning.
So, it's like the Oscars. The Oscars did not exist for me this year because I never saw Spielberg. They did not happen.
Although they did mention him, like during the acceptance speech, didn't they, for like the best picture?
Right, because he still remains the #1 thanked individual in Oscar speech history, ranking higher than God.
Wow.
Yeah, my boyfriend sent me a link. I think it was last year, and it had that. So then I sent him the link about how I wrote the article about that, like from the year prior for Big Shiny Robot. He's like, yeah. He's like, one of these days I'm going to share an information factoid about Spielberg that you don't know. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
I decided to bring in the big guns.
La 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 la. 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 La 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 la.
Well, Nathan, anything to say about 3 Tenors and You're Out?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't really remember much about it, though. Slipping on the Ice, has that happened in that?
Slipping on it? I think Tom Ruger did when he was on our show last. He did a great singing of it on our episode, which made me laugh hearing that again.
See, it was all about Spielberg for you, too. That's all you remember.
Exactly. Well, I guess I'll go to my number 5. My number 5 is Cutie and the Beast. Because I really like I think it's an awesome, the animation #1 is really awesome. The songs in it are really nice, and I think it's really funny. I think it's a good parody, and I like having Taz mixed up with the Animaniacs. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it was very funny. And of course, it has a great the opening thing where Dot keeps messing up on her name, which is a very funny sequence.
And now, the stars of our show, the Warners.
I'm Yakko. I'm Wacko.
And I'm Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francesca Banana Folana. Cut!
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Banana Folana.
Banana Folana. Thanks for your support, Mr. Pee-Pop into the mic.
Oh, poo. I never pop my peas.
Wacko, we got a big pee-pop on poo. Can we have that again?
So that is my number 5. Anything to say about that, you two?
It's very funny. I like Beauty and the Beast, so I like that segment.
All right.
I also like Beauty and the Beast, probably more than the average human. And I also liked it.
All right. Well, it's time then to get to number 4.
Number 4.
Nathan, what is your number 4?
Oh boy. Okay. So this is hard because I had to put at least one Pinky and the Brain episode on there, and I didn't know which segment to put on, so I just put on the one that makes me laugh the most, which is Yes Always.
So you're saying that you had a Pinky and the Brain quota for your list?
Well, I mean, I love Pinky the Brain, so I would not allow myself not to put at least one on there. I might put even more if I change my mind to the last minute for my top ones. But I think this will be it, and it will be Yes Always. And it's not really a Pinky and the Brain segment necessarily, but it just makes me laugh so much that it's my favorite one.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it? I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We're talking about them growing and she's picked them.
Well, we want to be out of that snowy field.
But I was out. We were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, always. I'm always past that.
You are?
Yes.
Did you guys happen to see the... I shared it on the Animanicast Facebook page, but Tom Ruger shared an uncensored clip from that episode where the brain is talking, instead of saying, I'll have cheese with you. I think that was the line they changed from Orson Welles' original rant. He actually does say the original not safe for work thing. Anyway, this clip is on it's on our Facebook page right now if you want to check it out. But it's I think it's from that one of those infamous VHS tapes that Tom was talking about, where the recordings got a little blue, and so he shared it, and just that one little clip, and it was crazy. I asked him on Facebook. They said, "Did you actually submit this?" And then the censors denied it, and he just said in all caps, "No!" exclamation mark. So, but yeah, it's on there. Check it out, and there you go. But I like that one too, Nathan. That one's also a good one for just it gives you kind of a sense of the behind the scenes, because you actually have Tom and Andrea Romano, and I think it was Peter Hastings, I think, doing their voices as well. So it's all good stuff. Anything to say about that one, Kelly?
It's funny. I really like the brain's lines and dialogue in that one.
Yeah, it's great backstory to it as well, which always like to hear.
And his delivery is amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite make sense why the brain's doing these things, but I mean,
yeah, you kind of got you got the idea, they're referencing something that is very inside baseball for them. That, I mean, gosh, even before the internet, I'm sure kids were just kind of going, "Why is he talking about this? Why? What is going on?" But yeah, thanks to the magic of the internet and podcasts like us, now you can find all that out. So there we go. Okay, Kelly, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is the same as Nathan's number 5, which is Baloney and Kids.
Ah.
Because it is yum dum doodle dum. And, oh my gosh, that is hilarious. I just love it. I love Baloney. He's so obnoxiously annoying, and I love his look. He's crazy eyed, and it's so different to have somebody who actually annoys the Warners instead of vice versa. So it's a little twist on their general formula, and I love it, and it's pure 90s nostalgia.
And I'm Gustav Anvil, the inventor of the anvil.
Oh, those were good masks.
Hey, Wacko gave me another idea. Let's sing the anvil song.
Gee goshums, Yakko, I don't know that one.
Don't worry, you'll catch on real quick.
Yakko, is our use of falling anvils going to be a bit excessive?
Yep.
Okay.
My number 4 is Super Strong Warner Siblings. Because, it's just, I was never a huge Power Rangers fan, but I really like this one, just how it's written so well because it's so poorly written. I think is the thing about it. They really got the whole bad dialogue nailed down. Just the right, saying that
right
a lot. Right.
Right. Curses again! Ah, this never works!
Let's finish him off.
Right! Right!
That's on my list. And they give kids bags of money, which is awesome. Nathan, Kelly, what do you think about that one?
I really like that one. It shows how they make the theme song. Isn't that they make the theme song every time?
Every time they do it live. So we learned something about the Animaniacs show. And I believe that was their first one on Kids WB as well. It's episode 70. So yeah, what a way to premiere! To start off with that one, strong.
Yeah,
it was cute, but I don't know. It just it made me nostalgic for immature radioactive samurai slugs.
Well, we will eventually talk about that, definitely.
I know we will, because I won't let you not talk about it.
I can't wait about that one. That's going to be awesome. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to our number 3.
Number 3.
Nathan, what is your number 3?
So my number 3 is also Super Strong Warner Siblings. And I know we talked about this recently. One of you said this one already, right? I can't remember how.
I forget. I have a very short-term memory. So I forget.
Well, recently one of you already said it. And I also really enjoyed this one. I almost just took it off the list because there's a bunch of other ones that I have on my list that didn't make it on honorable mentions. But you know what? I'll say those later. And yeah, Super Strong Warners. Great start to the WB era.
Hey kids, playing with giant bugs isn't cool. If someone wants you to play with a giant bug, just say, no thanks. That's cool.
Right!
Awesome. All right, well, we already talked enough about that one, so let's move on to Kelly. What's your number 3?
Okay, now it gets really difficult.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Karaoke Dokie.
Ooh, good choice.
Because every single second of that is hysterical, and sometimes randomly I just go around and go, bah, bah, black sheep, ooh, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. 3 bags full. And nobody gets it, but it's fun to say. And just the whole Star Trek parody. Oh, yeah, it's a whole Star Trek gag thing. We get it. They even reference it in the episode. Yeah. It's funny. And Ralph gets excited about the donuts. And he's just, everything is so funny in the episode. And last year I went on a cruise and they had a karaoke night. And I was like, oh, this will be awesome. And it was the same 3 people up the whole night. And I'm like, if I drank enough alcohol to actually want to get up in front of people and sing, because it would take that, would I even be able to get on the list? Because these people have it completely, I had to reference the Animaniacs episode because I'm like, this is real life, because they've completely monopolized the
I hate it when that happens. That's happened to me a couple times. And it's usually because the person knows the DJ or something, and they just keep rotating in every third person at least, and it's like... Ugh.
And they weren't even good songs.
Well, this is what I recommend then, because every now and then you go to, when I go to a karaoke event, they do have a kids section. So it is very possible they might have Ba Ba Black Sheep in there. And it can't be that long of a song, so I mean, just a couple drinks and you might be tipsy enough to do it.
I would get up there and do the Nations of the World.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be a showstopper right there.
Yes.
People's jaws drop when I do that.
Too kind. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, my little friends, my small friends. Maestro, if you please. Ba, black sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. 3 bags full.
I think there's something missing.
Like talent?
Nathan, anything to say about, of course, Karaoke Dokie?
Very funny. I love karaoke, and I love watching the Warners trying to do karaoke with the Star Trek people. Ralph being the DJ or whatever. It's very funny. The keeping charge of the list, right?
Yeah. So. Maurice LaMarche also does both. Maurice LaMarche also does both voices. William Shatner and or I forget, they changed his name up in this one, but and Leonard Nimoy as well. So
Willie Slackmer and Lenny Nimoy.
Yes, there you go. And it's funny how they decide to do that in some episodes. Nathan and I have talked about this in the comic book. The comic book episodes, they always change the names of the celebrities, but they kind of do it sometimes in the actual cartoon series. It's like sometimes they'll say, "Oh, that's Slackner," or sometimes they'll say, the real person, like, "Oh, it's Sharon Stone," or George Clooney, or whatever. So it's weird how that happens with parodies.
Maybe it's based on which celebrity is most likely to sue.
Yeah, perhaps. And I think William Shatner might sue. He seems like the kind of guy that might be like, "That's my likeness. No." Anyway, let's go ahead and get to, my number 3, right? Like you're saying, now we're getting a little harder. And I put number 3 as Ups and Downs as my favorite, because that was right on the edge of the 51 to 99. This was episode 52 that this one was on, and what a funny episode. I mean, just pairing Dr. Scratch and Sniff and Wacko together. My gut would say you put Yakko and Dr. Scratch and Sniff together is my gut instinct, but then putting Wacko in seems to make it even funnier. And of course the elevator repairman, Goit Furman, I want to say his name was, and Ed.
Let's see now. Hello? I'm in an elevator not going anywhere. Is someone there? Hello? Anyone?
Warner Brothers Maintenance Department. Hold on a sec. Hit it with the hammer, Big Ed. No, the hammer. That's a wrench. That long thingy's a hammer. Sorry about that. This is Goit Furman. What can I do you for?
The whole thing was just very amusing. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because we might say more about it later. My gut tells me what I'm thinking. Anyway, Nathan, anything about Ups and Downs you'd like to share? Or Kelly, anything?
Yeah, very funny episode. Just how much Wacko can annoy Dr. Scratch and Sniff. And it's just really, really funny. And the constant talking over just the repairman, just hilarious. I love it all.
Right. And Kelly, anything you want to share about that right now?
Not at the moment.
I figured. Okay, let's go ahead then. Let's go ahead and get to number 2 then.
Number 2.
All right, Nathan, what is your number 2 segment of Animaniacs episodes 51 to 99?
All right, I'm going to do a similar kind of feel to it, because it's going to be Drive Insane. Where they go into the drive-in and they have to order fries with their popcorn, kind of thing. I think just that line.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that one. I love that one so much.
Yeah, I needed to put it on, so I just did some quick editing to my list, actually, just so I could throw it on. So, because I was like, I don't think anyone's going to say this episode. So I got it.
Well, I wasn't going to. I love it. I love that one. Good old Mitch.
Well, what do you have?
Large, super chubby, and double super chubby.
Then isn't a large a small?
Oh, I'll have to ask my manager.
Just give me a large popcorn.
You want fries with that?
Why would I want fries with popcorn?
Oh, I'll have to ask my manager.
Oh, yummy, the popcorn. Didn't you get any fries?
Kelly, anything to say about Drive Insane?
It's funny.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Good old Dr. Scratch and Sniff. All right. Kelly, what is your number 2?
Okay, it's really hard to pick between my top 2. But I think I'm going to go with Ups and Downs, like you did. Well, Ups and Downs was your third.
Third, yes.
This one's my number 2. Because it's amazing. It's another one of those, like, from beginning to end, every piece of dialogue is perfection. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I'll stand in an elevator and sing the Chopstick song and turn in a circle. Depending on who I'm on the elevator with, I have done it.
Chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks, chop chop. Chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks, chop chop.
Enough is the chopsticks! No more chopsticks!
And, particularly when I'm at cons, for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess I'm just in the right frame of mind, but I particularly reference this episode, and much to the annoyment of my friends. And I just love it. And it is sort of interesting, kind of like you said, with the pairing of Wacko and Dr. Scratch and Sniff, and when they start singing together and dancing, they've just completely lost it. And Scratch and Sniff is like, open your bag, and your baggy thing, and you've got things, and there's nothing to be helped, and it's just funny.
All right, Nathan, anything else you want to say about that one, or
I had it on my list and I had to take it off. So
oh, there you go.
It's because I was like, that's what I took off for Drive Insane, but it was right here, 1 or 2. I couldn't decide, but
there you go.
It's very funny. It's not going to be on my list though.
And animated really well too. It's excellent animation in that one too. My number 2 is Woodstock Slappy.
Ah, here we go. Summer in the country. Nothing but rest and relaxation. Right, Skippy?
Yeah, groovy and Slappy, man, groovy.
Skippy, don't talk like that. People will think you had brain surgery.
I can dig it, man. Far out.
I had to get him out of the city, away from all those bad influences.
You mean like peace and love?
Exactly. That stuff will whoop you.
I will just say a little bit about this, because it's hilarious, and it has a great Abbott and Costello routine, and the animation is awesome, and it has great musical parodies, and that's all I'm going to say about it for right now. Nathan, anything about Woodstock Slappy you'd like to say?
I have nothing to say about this segment.
Nothing to say about it. Okay, and Kelly, do you have anything to say about Woodstock Slappy?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, well, I figured. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it. It's time for drum roll. Number 1.
Number 1.
All right, Nathan, let's start with you. What is your number 1 segment of Animaniacs, the second half, 51 to 99? Hit us. What is it?
All right, well, you may have already guessed, but anyone that hasn't, my favorite segment is Mermaid Mindy. Because no, it's actually Woodstock Slappy was number 1.
You scared me for a minute.
Something's happening here, but it isn't exactly clear.
Well, thank you for that. Hey, you kids, what are you doing? Go on, get away from my tree.
Like, mellow out, you running dog squirrel.
Hey, we're here for the Woodstock concert, man.
3 days of rock from groups like Jefferson Airplane, The Band, The Who, The Grateful Dead.
I'd be grateful, too, if I didn't have to listen to this noise.
The comedy duo between Skippy and Slappy is just so hilarious. And, I mean, even as a kid, I didn't quite understand, that Who was an actual band and that Yes was a band, and the band is a band, But now, like, growing up, like, I get those, it's even funnier. But it was even funny as a kid, and I didn't even get all that. But just very good. It's almost educational, if it was more educational, but it's just really, really funny. And I think everyone should see it. If they haven't seen it, they need to see that, at least that one segment. And it makes me sad that we probably will not see Skippy and Slappy in the reboot.
Yeah, I posted a video just kind of reminding people about it on Twitter and YouTube that as far as we know, Slappy Squirrel, a.k.a. Sherry Stoner, has not been contacted about returning to do any voices for the show. So, and I and honestly, even if I just don't think they're concerned about. I don't think they're going to recast Slappy. I just think they're not going to have Slappy, which would really be a shame because she's such a funny character. But whatever. Sad. Okay, Kelly, let's go ahead and get to your number one.
I know it's going to be a surprise, but I'm going to have to go with Woodstock Slappy.
Woo!
Because it's hilarious. It's one of those episodes that I made my mom sit down and watch. That you have to watch this. It's so funny. And I mean, just to piggyback on what y'all said, it's great comedy between Skippy and Slappy, and I didn't know all the bands when I watched it. I still don't, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I did know, who was the band, and I got the joke, but I just think that the timing of the dialogue is great, and they drag it on long enough to make it funny, but I don't think that they overextend the joke. They cut it off just where it needs to be.
On stage, Skippy. Look, see the band?
No, I don't.
Get rid of those John Lennon glasses and look. There's the band.
No, that's not the band. The band is performing later on. Who's on stage?
You tell me.
Who?
The name of the group on stage.
Who?
The name of the group.
Who?
The group on stage.
Who?
The band.
No, the band is performing later. Right now we're listening to Who.
That's what I want to know.
I like it when the singer is like, "Oh, you squirrels are pretty funny," and it's just it's just so funny, and I love it, and I have the shirt to prove it now because
Yes.
I bought it off our TeePublic store. I haven't had a chance to wear it yet because it's been cold, but I have a few Animaniac shirts. Some of them I've gotten from like Hot Topic and Box Lunch, but that's one I definitely got from TeePublic. Oh, and I wore our Animanicast shirt to the Pensacola convention last weekend. So
Yes. Did people look at it and get confused? And because that's usually what happens to me when I wear that around.
I was chilly, so I don't know if people actually noticed it because I was wearing a hoodie. I was wearing it open, but I was wearing a hoodie over it, and so nobody really commented on it. But I was proudly displaying it.
Yay! Whenever I wear my Animanicast shirt in public, people go, "Oh my gosh, I really love that show." Wait a minute, what is that? They take a closer look. Oh, it's fun. Okay, well, it's time for my number one, and it's not Woodstock Slappy, as we all know. That was my number two. I have a number one that, for whatever reason, just stood out for me, and it is The Sound of Warners. And The Sound of Warners, there's a few lines that get stuck in my head, and I shouldn't say stuck in my head, but they pop up out of nowhere. The line of, when nature calls, you've got to pick up the phone and say, "Hello, nature. I got your message. I have a package for you." It's in my head, a few times a day for some reason. I don't know why. But
TMI.
But the whole Poison Oak song, I love how that sounds, and the harmonization of Tress MacNeille and Rob Paulson together at that part as Scratch and Sniff's face is becoming this swollen mess. Is just a funny image in my brain.
Poison Oak makes you itch if you catch it.
Is there a point to this cartoon?
I don't know, but we're still getting paid.
Catching!
Skin turns red, blisters spread the more that you scratch it. Chafing and stinging, the itch gets worse, it's burning. Sing! Poison, no, poison, no, for days to come you'll be hurting.
Again, it kind of goes to the idea of we're going to flip the standard thing of the Warners, and we're going to make someone annoy them instead of them annoying someone else, and it worked out really well. So that was mine. It was excellent songs and very funny. So, any thoughts about the sounds of Warners before we get to Nathan's list of things that did make it?
Well, this was on that list of things that weren't going to make it, so I'm so glad you said it, because this is a very funny segment. And yeah, the Poison Oak, I always think of that, and that silly face he's making. Just the purple blob his face turns into.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
And the nightmare that Yakko has at the beginning of that, right? Trying to do the nations of the world.
Oh yeah, when Yakko
messing up.
Yeah, that was great.
One thing that stands out to me of that segment is just the colors of that episode. It just seemed, I don't know.
It starts off a kind of dreary, doesn't it? Because she's going through all the smog of California, and she's off like beautiful Burbank. Which I think they've cleared up a little bit of it. I remember as a kid going to California, not knowing there were mountains in LA because there was so much smog. I mean, we went to Disneyland every year, and I had no idea there were mountains until I was like 12. It's so weird. Wow. Like looking at the hotel one day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's mountains in LA!" Like I never saw them. It was the weirdest thing. Well, Nathan, let's go ahead and hit us with your honorable mentions list. Which ones almost made it?
I have just one on here that I wrote down that we didn't mention, and that was Brains Apprentice. I just wanted to mention that one. And I just love it's so good. You know?
Yeah.
There's no talking, no words or anything, but just great animation and the music and everything. It's funny, and he almost took over the world. He got so close.
I had one Pinky in the Brain one that almost made my honorable mention list, and that was I think it's called Brain Meets Brawn, where they're in London, and he turns into the it was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde cartoon. I really like that one. The animation of it is awesome, and I don't know. It's just that one's impressive for me too when it comes to Pinky and the Brains.
Yeah, that one's very reminiscent of like Looney Tunes and everything. Like
it was the Tweety Bird one, I believe. That was the one that had that joke. Okay, well, that will do it for our top 5 segment list. Oh my gosh, it was definitely a difficult task, I think, going through all this. And of course, afterwards, we're going to look at the list again and go, oh, we should have put that on and stuff like that. But if we forgot some of the ones that you really like, why don't you send those in? Of what some of your favorite segments are. You can send us an email, or you can go to Twitter or Facebook or on our Discord channel. Our email is animanicast@retrozap.com, and of course our Discord channel is discord.animanicast.com, and that'll give you the welcome link so you can talk to us there as well. Well, let's go ahead and get to some contact information. Nathan, where can people get in contact with you online?
Well, Joey, you can find me on Twitter, DjangoFT, that's me. Yeah.
All right, and Kelly, what about you?
I'm on Twitter at Yoda Princess, YODAPRNCSS, or email me, Kelly@BigShinyRobot.com.
All right, and as for the Animanicast, like I said, we're on Facebook, and Twitter, and Instagram, and Discord, and sometimes on Reddit. And of course, we have our own YouTube channel. You can see some of our previous stuff right there. But really, the place to go is Animanicast.com, where you can get a full listing of our other shows over at RetroZap. RetroZap is the #1 pop culture place to go to. If you want to just see anything pop culture, just head on over there. Whether it's Star Wars, comic books, video games, movies, whatever, RetroZap has you covered with articles and artwork and, of course, podcasts. You can subscribe to the RetroZap podcast link for all the podcast feeds, and you get all of them delivered straight to your device for free. Ooh. Well, that'll do it for today's episode. So for Nathan and Kelly, this is Joey saying, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
In the land of the free, now that's